making a movie.
Ted has one, his, but he never.
Dr. Ekin, Cemal Ekin, is a photographer who arranged this wonderful, beautiful exhibition. And he is a long-time professor here at the marketing department. I have been trying to convince him that he should teach here with us, but so far I have failed. So he's doing this in the marketing, if you probably will. Dr. Ekin will speak a few words about his work and his working process, and technical questions you might have.
About a little more than a year ago, in 2009, June, I was with a friend in Istanbul. He is a professor of architecture and architectural photography, Professor Reha Günay. Some of you actually may have seen his name and his photographs and his writing in the book collections that you have about Turkey, about the architecture. He asked me if I wanted to go up to the dome of Hagia Sophia to photograph. I said, well, what the hell kind of question is that? Of course I do. And this was happening within the last week of our stay in Istanbul. So he had to scramble and make the arrangements. Within a couple of days, we were taking a boat ride to go up to the other side, and within hours we were riding the elevator to go up to the scaffolding. And part of it was like a blur to me, like a dream. I couldn't believe that I was actually going up there, and it was extraordinarily exciting and nervous time for me. When we went up there, we were on this platform. This is the very center of the big magnificent dome of Hagia Sophia, and that is me touching the history. And it was truly an unbelievable experience to be that close to something that was built over 1,500 years ago and be able to touch the gold mosaics that were laid there at that time. You cannot help but feel some sense of oneness, like you're shaking hands with people who put them there. It is that kind of a feeling. You may say, how come you don't have the same sensation when you touch the marbles down below? I have seen them for 60-some years. They are not too extraordinary to me, and millions of other people did that. This, being this close to the dome, like inside a cocoon, almost like a rebirth experience, being in the womb and being born again. It is that kind of a feeling. When I was up there, my claustrophobia and my vertigo just disappeared. I didn't even think of that anymore in that excitement. So we spent about 3.5, 4 hours taking photographs inside the dome, around there, looking right, looking up. And then we stepped outside, took more photographs. I got a sunburn on my head because I left my hat inside, thinking, well, I'm walking outside, why worry about that? In about a week we returned, then I was still under that high of being up there in the dome of Hagia Sophia, and started poring over the photographs, trying to come up with a way that I can express part of the feeling. The first thing I did was I worked at it about 3 weeks or so. Is Austin still here? No, Austin left, so I can... Oh, okay, Austin, thank you. Could we start it from the first one? I spent about 3 weeks. Could have looked like, could have sounded. And I wanted to see if I could capture a smidgen of that. And I found the music that we're going to hear after some search. Hit it, Austin. Kind of kept me busy about 3 weeks. I worked at it about 3 weeks. When I say I worked at it 3 weeks, I don't mean an hour today and half an hour tomorrow. I mean probably 7-8 hours a day. In trying to see how I want to put them together, where I'm going to find the music. And I finally found this music, which was published by the Met, when there was a Hagia Sophia exhibit there a few years ago. And I just fell in love with this particular piece, and it was the right length altogether. after I got the discharge a little bit, so to speak, the emotional discharge, then I started looking at it more photographically. Now, up to this point, I was still trying to deal with my extraordinary experience that I had up there. When you talk about photography, Eric will probably correct me if I'm wrong, the great curator of MoMA, John Sharkowski, said there are 5 things that make photographs photographs. One is the thing itself, the object that you're photographing. The second is the detail rather than the whole thing. The third thing is the frame that the photographer imposes on it. The fourth thing is the time, and the fifth thing is the vantage point. And here, the thing itself obviously shines. There's no question about it. But what this photography brings as a unique experience is the vantage point more than anything else. There are literally tens of thousands of photographs of Hagia Sophia, and none of them look at it from this perspective and this close to the mosaics and other details. In fact, the vantage point is so different. A lot of people ask me about that big photograph hanging in the center. If you look at it, there's a big color contrast with blue and red. They say, how is it possible that you have those colors? Did you do something to it? Well, the answer is no. That is what the camera sees. What you're seeing, actually, is the reflection of the sky on the ground. Open blue sky on the marble floor is giving you the color of the sky. And inside the church is lit by incandescent lighting, so it is red. So there is no trickery there. But it looks unusual for 2 reasons. One, our eyes never ever see it that way, but the camera does. And the second, you have never seen that scene, that view from that perspective. You have never seen the light reflecting on the floor. And then I started thinking, what do I want to do with it photographically? The next step was, I want to share these with anyone. Then the first thing that came to my mind was I want to print them, because I'm a print person as a photographer, to show you the size of it. And I wanted to make them look like the iconas that I have seen so many times in the covered bazaar in Istanbul. They are typically of a essentially they look like the big print, but they are smaller. They are meant to be held with gloves because they're very shiny. The idea was to recreate that impression of the iconas that the people buy and put it on their mantelpieces and their altars. They are the object of worship, adoration, etc. And they are invariably, the good ones that I have seen are framed in ebony, black, and invariably they have a gold frame inside showing a illustrated, illuminated object filled with gold. And I started making the first prints, and then I realized my inkjet printing wasn't doing justice to it, although I had a very good inkjet printer. Then I remembered a year ago, I did actually a couple of prints. Paula will remember the metallic print that is hanging in Rhode Island Hospital. And I said, this is what I'm going to do with it. The paper, and when you bring it under the light, you can actually see the shining of the gold. And I said, that is the only way I can show these pictures to do justice to the subject. And I had a few sets printed, and some friends visiting from DC, they saw the first one, and they said they wanted one each, so I ended up making a few more. Then Jim and Carol were at our house one day, and I showed it to them, the video. Jim said, "You got to show these pictures." And I said, "Well, okay." He says, "We'll make room, we'll do something." And he encouraged me to do that. And a few days later, Eric was out of town. He came and he called me. He said, "I hear you have some pictures I have to see. When can I see them?" I said, "I'm home." He said, "I'm coming down." And he actually came down within half an hour and looked at the small folio prints. And then he said he wanted to be my faculty sponsor from the art department. I'm grateful to Jim and Eric for their support. Then the exhibit idea gelled. We found the date. I submitted this for the department to review. They said we have the time around this time. And I started having the prints made. Then a friend of mine living in Columbus, Ohio said, "We have to show them here." So they made arrangements so that the first round of this exhibit was in Columbus, Ohio, with fewer photographs than what you see here in last May. It was there May till June, about 30 days. And then they came back, and I added a few more and wanted to share them with you in this gallery, which I really like. I enjoy this intimate, cozy feeling of uncabinet. The main thing that I want to share with you is the result of my experience, which continues actually outside the building. After we took some, Austin, could you play the button? After we took some photographs inside, then we stepped through one of the big windows. They opened for walking out, and then Istanbul was literally beneath my wings. I have a photograph with that title. The people know that it is called Istanbul Beneath My Wings. This is literally Istanbul beneath my wings. This is shorter. So that's the outside view. That ledge is, as you saw, it's about this wide, and that connects the front of the church roof to the back of the roof. And the young man who took us up there said, "Would you like to go to the back of the church and take some pictures there?" And this is when I was in the front. I said, "How are we going to go there?" He said, "We'll walk down here." I said, "Walk down where?" He said, "You'll make it. I'll carry your camera, your tripod." And I thought to myself, this is a once in a lifetime chance, which may end right there. But I said, okay, we took the whole thing, and I just walked like this and made it to the other side, and the view was well worth it. I was able to take some of the pictures you see on the back. The Hagia Sophia, which is another very important church in Byzantine history. In fact, I think it is even older than Hagia Sophia. So I was able to make that trip to the back and return to the front so I could come back. I just wanted to share with you both the experience, the view, the vistas, the things, the awe and respect for the building. It is a tribute to humanity. There is absolutely no question about that in my mind. It is a wonderful, wonderful building. If you happen to be in Istanbul, you got to see it. It is a must-see destination. Thank you all for coming.